Red Bull candidly admits regret over letting Ricciardo go. Red Bull Racing's boss Laurent Mekies has candidly revealed that the team regrets how Daniel Ricciardo's sudden departure from Formula One was handled. As the dust settles following the Singapore Grand Prix, where Ricciardo made what many now realize was his final F1 appearance, there's growing frustration over the way his exit was managed and discussions of a possible return. Ricciardo, known for his charisma and infectious smile, ended his F1 career in a rather subdued fashion, cutting a solemn figure as he acknowledged his time in the sport was nearing an end. In Singapore, both Red Bull and Ricciardo were tight-lipped when asked whether that race would be his last, offering vague and cryptic responses that left fans and the media puzzled. Days after the race, it was confirmed that Liam Lawson would replace Ricciardo, denying the 8-time Grand Prix winner a proper send-off. The abrupt nature of Ricciardo's exit left a sour taste not only in the mouths of his loyal fans but also among his peers. His former teammate, Max Verstappen, voiced his disappointment, saying that Ricciardo deserved a nicer and more respectful farewell from the sport. This sentiment was echoed across the paddock, with many questioning Red Bull's decision to keep the matter under wraps during the Singapore weekend. In a recent interview, Laurent Mekies expressed his frustration with how the situation was handled. He admitted that the team's media strategy during Ricciardo's final race was far from ideal. I think the answer is yes, it was frustrating, and yes, you're right, it was not ideal to go through the weekend in that way, Mekies told F1 Real-Time. First of all, for him, on both a professional and personal level, and for the whole team around him. Mekies explained that the decision to remain silent about Ricciardo's departure was a mutual one between the driver and the team. For many different reasons, we chose together to go into that weekend without announcing it, and from that point onwards, we had to deal with it. It's a decision that, in hindsight, we may or may not do differently, but both the team and the driver were on board with that approach, he added. Despite the media blackout, the overwhelming support and affection for Ricciardo were evident throughout the Singapore weekend. Mekies acknowledged this, reflecting on whether a more traditional exit would have made the experience any easier for the Australian driver. Now, I think, in one way or another, we all found a way to express how much love there is from the sport to Daniel, from the fans to Daniel. I don't know if it would have been better or worse, Mekies said thoughtfully. Certainly different, more traditional, but I can hopefully say that the amount of love and empathy we felt through that weekend was something outstanding and shows that he's bigger than just an F1 driver. While Ricciardo may have stepped away from Formula One, it seems his story might not be over just yet. Red Bull's team principal, Christian Horner, has hinted at the possibility of bringing Ricciardo back into the fold. Horner, who shares a strong rapport with the Australian driver, has been vocal about his admiration for Ricciardo's talent and personality. In an exclusive statement, Horner said, "Daniel has always been a big part of the Red Bull family. His energy, his driving ability, and the way he connects with fans are things you don't find every day in a driver." Horner went on to acknowledge that mistakes may have been made in the way Ricciardo's departure was handled, but stressed that the door is still open for the Australian's return. Of course, looking back, there are always things you'd want to handle differently. But I think what's important is that we learn from it and move forward. Daniel is someone we'd always welcome back with open arms, Horner added. With Ricciardo's enduring popularity and undeniable talent, fans are hopeful that Red Bull's regrets might turn into action, paving the way for his return to the grid. For now, the speculation surrounding his future continues. But one thing is clear, Daniel Ricciardo's presence in Formula One is sorely missed, and Red Bull seems eager to rectify the situation. Could we see the Honey Badger roaring back into the F1 paddock soon? Only time will tell.